Welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. I'm your host, Geoffrey Morrissey, all the way on the east coast of Boston. We are joined by an artist from the Gold Coast of Australia, Amy Shark. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm getting there. It's been a good day so far. I can
Great.
only imagine what it's like for you. You're touring. 20 inches of snow just fell on the city, which must be a nice surprise.
Look, I'm still in the snow looks so pretty phase.
Okay,
everyone I speak to is like, oh, we're so over the snow, but it still looks really pretty to me, and I love it.
I do have to say, the looks of it never get old, that's for sure. But in the snow tonight, well, not in the snow, you'll be at the Brighton Music Hall. You have a ton of fans coming out to hear you play your new EP. It's called Night Thinker. So what is it like for you touring with this EP as opposed to like a full album? Is it nerve-wracking at all? Or are you just playing some of the new songs, getting a feel for them? How's it been going?
It's really great. This is actually this EP has had some longevity, which has been great. Because this is like my third sort of time if coming back here and touring it. If you don't count Bleachers and my Vance Joy tour, it's the second time. But I have a lot of old songs as well, and I do an Eminem cover, and I obviously play the 6 songs from the EP as well, so I kind of flesh it out a little bit.
Keeping busy, that's always good. And then so this was something that I was reading that you said, when you do something for so long and you don't get anything in return, it's very hard to keep motivated. And that was sort of in regards to trying to break through in the scene. But you stayed motivated, you got something in return. So what kept you motivated? What kept you making music through periods where it wasn't so easy?
I'm just addicted to it. Like, even when I sort of had come to terms with the fact that, look, I don't think I'm going to be a musician, I was never going to just be like, all right, well, I'm going to sell all my guitars now and never play music again. I'm addicted to it. So I was always going to be writing songs. It was just whether or not I was going to push them onto people or send them to people or put them online even. All that kind of stuff I had given up on, and I didn't have any time for anymore because, that just got repetitive and draining and soul destroying. So I'm just like an addictive songwriter. So that's all I needed to stay motivated was just the love of doing it.
Well, nice. And other people seem to be loving it too, which is always a good thing. And then I read that sort of with Spit on Girls, you were making a change from just the guitar to mixing the guitar with beats as well. So what inspired you to kind of like take that route, do guitar and beats and sort of combine the two and see what comes out?
Well, it kind of took me by surprise because, I knew that I hadn't hit my sound just yet. I was still searching for it, and that was, really frustrating because I knew I wasn't like folk or acoustic. I knew I wasn't like rock or anything. And I worked with this New Zealand producer, Eden Mulholland, and he's really great at like percussion. And he started sort of slapping things in the room and made this beat, and I was like, that's all it needs to go with the guitar. That sounds great. So that was my first little flirt with beats and still having an acoustic guitar control the song. And I got really excited about that. And then I wrote another song called Golden Fleece, and I went even further into the beat world and synth world with that song. But it was a really hard thing to manage because you need to juggle all these sounds, and you need to make sure they're perfectly balanced so it's not either R&B, not rock, not hip hop. It's my sound. So it's very hard to find that balance, but I know it now. I know it really well.
Well, nice. And then another very distinctive part of your songs, obviously, is the songwriting, one of the things that you're mainly known for. And I know that age has been one of those things that has played into that, being sort of 30 and having more experience to write about has been one of the things that you've credited with some of the success. So when did you hit an age where you felt that you were either the confidence was there or you had enough to write about? Do you remember sort of like a turning point there where you could sort of feel the wisdom giving you a little bit of an extra boost?
Yeah, I think like, mid to late 20s, it was like I was always writing about like really emotional sort of stuff and really raw, edgy things, but it wasn't until sort of my mid 20s where I could document it and sort of put it in a way that still sounded nice on the ear. It wasn't just nonsense, because there's a skill in that. There's a skill in being very edgy and bold, but you need to still have it in a nice tempo and a nice melody. So I got better at editing as well, just editing the words that I used. And yeah, I don't know. It just came with a little bit of maturity, I guess, and knowledge. Like I opened my mind up to so much more music. And after those 2 songs, my confidence was really high. It's really important that you have confidence, because mine was sucked out of me for so many years, and I just thought I was rubbish. And you know, it wasn't until I sort of let a few people hear Spits on Girls, and it got got a couple of spins on radio, and artists really need that. You know, as much as artists, you know, act like nothing bothers us, you know, it does affect you. I want people to like my songs, because I know once they listen to them, they'll connect, and that's the best. That's the joy out of doing it as well. But yeah, it was. It's sorry, I've forgotten your question. This is what I do. I just talk so much that
you've answered it.
Okay, great.
Which is it was just sort of how you arrived at an age or a place where you had the confidence.
Yeah, totally.
For songwriting.
Yeah, so it's, you know, yeah, like not only did I have heaps to look back on and sort of, you know, process, like, because so much has happened. I've had so much drama in my life. I could write albums, like I could release an album every year, you know. It's like there's so much to write about. But yeah, it's just working out the way to put it, the way to word it, and not oversharing but not holding back. You know, I don't ever want to be known as a vanilla sort of artist. So yeah, it just came with doing it a lot.
Yeah, and you can almost hear it too. Like, Deleted is not a song that could be written at 18 or 19. You know, that's the best way that I can put it, which I do appreciate. And then so Night Thinker, again, the name of the EP, sort of playing with that. What's something that's been keeping you up at night recently? What's been one of the worries or concerns on your mind?
Oh man, everything keeps me up at night. Everything. I start with one thing, and then I'll worry about something else, and then I'll think, oh man, I hope my parents are all right. Yeah, oh God, it's raining heaps. Yeah, oh, I need to do that. I've got to remember to do that. I'll start with something that's so simple, and then it'll go into like such a massive train of thought that I forgot what even I started thinking. And also lyrics. A lot of stuff comes to me, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I should write that down. No, I can't get up now because I won't get back to sleep, and I've got a lot to do tomorrow. And then even just that sets me off, and I'm like, oh no, I should, because if I don't remember that, that's such a cool line. And yeah, so a lot just enters my mind the second that it's not supposed to, and I'm supposed to be sleeping.
There you go. I suffer from the same, I guess, kind of thing. Well, I'm being very selfish right now. I feel like I'm keeping you from your fans at the Bright Music Hall, so this will be my last question. Who are you listening to? Who has your ear?
I'm actually still heavily listening to Bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
Bleachers, and also I caught War on Drugs.
Yes, their tour was amazing.
Yeah, well, I caught them at Laneway,
Mm-hmm.
and also Billie Eilish. So I saw a lot of War on Drugs and Billie Eilish when I was on the Laneway tour at home in Australia. So yeah, they're the sort of Bleachers, War on Drugs, Billie Eilish.
Nice. And I do have to ask you about a band, because when I bring this band up, I kind of get blank stares in the U.S. Camp Cope. Have you listened to that new album as well? One of my favorites. So,
man, those girls are like just so ridiculously talented, and they've got such a strong voice in our country at the moment for women's rights, and you know, they've got such a strong point of view, and I love that. I love artists that are bold and outspoken and have such a presence. So yeah, I'm a fan of Camp Cope.
And you will be a fan of Amy Shark. Her EP Night Thinker is out right now. Stay tuned for an album, and I'm sure more dates in the future. But Amy, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.